Hello again, my lovelies. Here I am again on my own personal road to WrestleMania 40. We are halfway through this week with WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 20 was in New York City, Madison Square Garden. This is the third WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden. 1, 10, 20. I'm surprised I didn't keep up theme with 30 and 40. So let's get into WrestleMania 20. So as I stated previously, WrestleMania 20 was at Madison Square Garden. Attendance was 20,000 and the buy-in rate was over 1 million. We are in the brand split era. I know, again, we go in and out of that. So from Raw and Smackdown. So to note, this WrestleMania happened March 14th, 2004. Cannot believe we're already in the 2000s. Like, I feel like I've been doing these WrestleManias forever, but also just started them. The first match on this card was John Cena versus The Big Show. This match was for the WWE United States Championship. The Big Show going into this match as champion. This is John Cena's first WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 19, John Cena was supposed to be on the show having a rap battle, the Thuganomics. That theme song hits so hard. But anyway, at WrestleMania 19, he was supposed to have a rap battle with Fabulous and Jay-Z. Fabulous, he pulled out the day of WrestleMania, but they were like, we didn't even really invite you. We wanted Jay-Z. Jay-Z pulled out weeks before due to prior commitments, but like, could you really see Jay-Z and John Cena having a rap battle? But John Cena's good, but I don't know. They pulled John Cena from WrestleMania 19. They put him on Sunday Night Heat, which is filmed the same day as WrestleMania. So he ended up having a rap battle, but like with a cardboard cutout of Jay-Z. You could go watch that if you want. This is John Cena's real WrestleMania debut. I actually liked this to start the show. I thought there was a lot of energy in this match. I'm not a huge Big Show fan. I do like the Big Show in some aspects, but he doesn't really get me excited when he's in the ring. The Big Show is the United States champion at this time. This match lasted about 9 minutes long. I actually really liked the ending. There's some funny business going on, but when you look at the size of the Big Show up against John Cena, Dr. Thuganomics over here, he would have his chain and he went to go hit the Big Show, but the ref, of course, nay. So John Cena threw his chain across the ring, and when the ref went to go pick it up, John Cena put on brass knuckles and then hit the Big Show with it. He put the Big Show up on his shoulders. Oh my God. I loved the ending. It was, you know, a little bit of funny business in there. How behind John Cena the crowd was. It was just beautiful. This era of John Cena is definitely my favorite. There's a lot of meat and potatoes in this WrestleMania higher up in the card. So we're going to breeze by some of these just to kind of touch on them and let you know where we stood in terms of championships. In 2004, Fatal 4-Way for the World Tag Team Championship, we had RVD and Booker T. Oh, I loved these men back in the day. They're still both great. Booker T has opinions. Rod Van Dam and Booker T were the tag team champions at this time. Again, like I said, this was a Fatal 4-Way up against Garrison Cade and Mark Jindrak. I don't remember Mark Jindrak. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys about Mark Jindrak and his accolades in the wrestling business, because for some reason my brain maybe took him in and spit him out, because I don't remember this man. The Dudley Boys, the Resistance, very French. Rob Van Dam and Booker T went in champions and they came out champions. And I have said this and I will say it again. These Fatal 4-Way matches, 8-man tag matches, 8-man matches do nothing for me. My brain gets overwhelmed. Unless it's done perfectly, I just can't get into it. The same goes with this. I love the Dudleys, Van Dam, Booker T, great, fantastic, but this match did not grip me the way maybe it did for other people. This match only lasted about 7 minutes. I'm over it. One of my favorite matches on the card for so many reasons. That is Christian up against Chris Jericho. This match was about 15 minutes long and it was so good. But let's get into why this match happened. Chris Jericho and Christian are both from Canada. We got Winnipeg, Chris Jericho. We got Toronto, Christian. This whole storyline got me feeling like I'm watching Days of Our Lives or Passions, and that's not a read. I actually really enjoyed this, as stupid as it was. Them both being Canadian, they had a little bet at this time, and this is kind of where the rivalry pops off. So Christian and Chris Jericho are best friends. And at the time kind of had a little thing with Lita. Weird because then, you know, Edge, you know the story. Chris Jericho had a little thing with another Canadian beauty, that is Trish Stratus. Christian and Chris Jericho bet $1 Canadian, yes, a loonie, Christian could get with Lita and Chris Jericho could get with Trish Stratus. They have this bet going on. They're trying to get to third base and all that crap. Chris Jericho starts to get real feelings for Trish Stratus. This really pisses off Christian because like he's messing up their little game. Also, Christian feels like this is making Chris Jericho weak, taking him off of his game, off of what they're supposed to be doing in and out of the ring. Fast forward a little bit and we actually get an intergender match between Christian and Trish Stratus. Christian and Trish Stratus are backstage. Christian is like, I'm not going to actually fight you. Just get me down. I'll lay down for you. 1, 2, 3. It'll be over. I'm not trying to hurt you. Christian, as Christian is, he's always been a magnificent heel, even now. He lies down in the ring for her. 1, 2, nay. He kicks out. He pretty much destroys her in the ring. 1, 2, 3. He wins the match. I mean, okay, she's like 100 pounds lighter than you. Congratulations. This leads to a match into WrestleMania 20. Jericho and Christian put on a beauty. This match also has some funny business at the end, which again, I actually really enjoyed. Who comes out? Trish Stratus. She's there to help Chris Jericho. She gets in the ring. She starts to interfere. At one point gets attacked by Christian. She's down in the corner of the ring. Her eyes are covered and Chris Jericho comes up behind her to check on her. And she, thinking it's Christian, hits him in the face. Christian capitalizes on this. 1, 2, 3. Christian gets the win over Chris Jericho. But nay, that is not the end. Trish turns on Chris Jericho, slaps him across the face. Trish Stratus and Christian leave together. They go up the ramp and start making out. So Chris Jericho in the ring, he's left in the dust. He's without his best friend. He is without his love interest. This was daytime Days of Our Lives TV goodness. Now let's head backstage for a second. We got Mick Foley. This will be his first match in the WWE in 4 years. Comes out as well. That is The Rock. We got The Rock and Sock connection. One of my favorite things ever. Like, the name in itself is just perfect. The Rock and Sock connection at WrestleMania 20. We are going up against Evolution. That is Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair. Rewind to a Raw in the same venue at Madison Square Garden. We had Evolution at that event. At that event, Mick Foley was attacked by Evolution. This is when Randy Orton was being called the Legend Killer. And that kind of popped off with Mick Foley in June 2003 with Randy Orton with the help of Evolution, Ric Flair, Batista. Randy Orton spit in Mick Foley's face and threw him down the stairs because Mick Foley just be taking bumps. If you remember from one of my previous WrestleMania reviews, Mick Foley retired because he was losing his memory from taking all of these bumps. So, you know, sir, be careful. That happened in June 2003. So come December 2003, Mick Foley was actually supposed to have a match with Randy Orton, but Mick Foley is like, hell no, I'm scared of these people, I'm leaving. So he actually walked out. Could not see Mick Foley again until January 2024. He would return at the Royal Rumble. And this would be strictly to get Randy Orton the hell out of the Royal Rumble, and that he did. Mick Foley attacked Randy Orton, gave him the clothesline, and not only did he eliminate Randy Orton, he eliminated himself because he was just there for one reason. So all of this set up For the match at WrestleMania 20, it was the Rock and Sock Connection, Mick Foley and The Rock versus Evolution, which is 3 guys. So this was a handicap match. This was such a fun, magical match for me. Watching Ric Flair give chops like 2 decades previously to this AEW Dynamite, it is a sight to see. Holy shit. I really enjoyed myself watching this match. It broke my heart because Randy Orton did get the pin over Mick Foley. And when he's looking at The Rock, there is sort of a point where you think The Rock is kind of going to turn on Mick Foley for losing the match, but he doesn't. He pays respect, holds Mick Foley's arm up, and it's just such a beautiful moment. And I loved this match for sure. What do you guys think? Did you like Evolution? This next match I'm going to take about 30 seconds to talk about. That is Tori Wilson and Sable versus Miss Jackie and Stacy Keibler. This was the Playboy Evening Gowns women tag team match, and apparently Tori Wilson and Sable were on Playboy, but Miss Jackie and Stacy Keibler thought they were supposed to be on Playboy. Match didn't matter. I love me some Sable. I love Tori Wilson. Actually, I love every woman in this match, but you know, they were just taking their gowns off and all that stuff. And Tori Wilson won. That's it. Goodbye. My little Sable bobblehead back here. Another match we're going to breeze on by because I didn't love this at all. For the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, it was a fast-paced match as you would expect from the Cruiserweights. It's a lot flippy, a lot dippy, which I usually love. I just didn't love the idea of this match on a WrestleMania card. It was the Cruiserweight Open. So there's 10 people in the match. The 10th person in the match is the champion. That is Chavo at the time. 2 people enter the match. When one gets pinned, he's out, and the person that pinned him continues into the match. Chavo Guerrero went in as champion. He left as champion because at the end, Father was out there with him as well, Chavo Classic, and he held Chavo's arms down while he had the pin. The ref didn't see it. I didn't care about this at all. It ended with Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was wearing his Flash outfit. I loved them working together. Another part of this match that I really liked, Mysterio versus Billy Kidman. That part was really good. Also, I really like to see Shannon Moore. But overall, this could have just been stuck on a Raw or something. Next match we're going to touch on is a match that I did not like whatsoever, but I loved everything leading up to the match, and that is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, as Bret Hart likes to call him, Bill Goldberg. You know the clip I'm talking about. Bill Goldberg. These 2 big meaty men were having a rivalry for about 2 months before WrestleMania 20, but it really popped off at the Royal Rumble, January 25th, 2004. That is when Goldberg was in the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar was not. Brock Lesnar at this time was the WWE champion. Brock Lesnar came in and cost Bill Goldberg the chance to win the Royal Rumble, giving him an F5 and getting him kicked out. So fast forward a little bit to February 15th. That is when we get the No Way Out pay-per-view. Side note, I kind of want to do, after I do my WrestleManias, do the No Way Out pay-per-views because tickling my fancy, what can I say? To the No Way Out in February. At this time, because there has been the rivalry between Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, Steve Austin actually gives Bill Goldberg the chance to be at the No Way Out pay-per-view, but gives him a front row ticket. At No Way Out, we're actually getting Brock Lesnar, the current WWE champion, up against my favorite of all time, that is Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. The No Way Out pay-per-view, Paul Heyman is there. He's mouthing off in the ring about Bill Goldberg. Goldberg gets pissed off. He ends up getting in the ring, but he gets taken out by security. Brock Lesnar and Eddie Guerrero later on in the event have their match. Who comes back to mess everything up? Well, that is Bill Goldberg, William Goldberg, if you nasty. Actually costs Brock Lesnar the WWE Championship. Eddie Guerrero capitalizes off of this interference. Frog splashes Brock Lesnar. He wins the WWE Championship. That's how we go into WrestleMania 20 with Eddie Guerrero as champion. We are not here to talk about that. Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg. Now Brock Lesnar has like a full mental breakdown. He's like, that championship meant everything to me. I want Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania. And he gets it. It is big meaty men slapping meat. It's not my favorite match on the card. I personally love Brock Lesnar. I know a lot of people kind of went against him when he was like a part-time champion, but WWE be doing that a lot these days. Love Brock Lesnar, especially Happy Cowboy Brock, but this match was not it for me. Goldberg does defeat Brock Lesnar by pinfall. Again, this is not a match that I would go back to. It was 13, almost 14 minutes long. Speaking of least favorite, we have another fatal four-way tag team match. That is for the WWE Tag Team Championship. So this Tag Team Championship is for the people on Raw. Included in this match is Too Cool, that is Scotty 2 Hotty, and Rikishi are the current WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, up against the world's greatest tag team, which is Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. If you remember from WrestleMania 19, they were Team Angle. Up against the Basham Brothers and APA, Farouk and Bradshaw. Just like the World Tag Team match earlier on the card, that was Van Dam and Booker T were the champions. They went in as champions, came out as champions. Same thing here. Too Cool went in champions, came out champions. This match was about 6 minutes long, a super short match. The best part of this match for me was the dance-off, as we get with Scotty 2 Hotty. We got the Worm, we got Rikishi. Here in the card, we had a women's match, which was for the Playboy cover or whatever. Another women's match. This is for the WWE Women's Championship. In Victoria, she is the current champion, up against Molly Holly. I love Molly Holly. Molly Holly was the women's champion previously to WrestleMania 20. Victoria beat her. Molly Holly was so confident that she was going to win her title back at WrestleMania 20 that she put what on the line? Her hair. So this was a title versus hair match. This women's match on the card only lasted a little bit under 5 minutes. It was pretty good. I am a huge Victoria stan. Victoria did walk out victorious in this match. Molly Holly was having none of that. She booked it out of there. She did not want to shave her head. They went backstage. Victoria drags her back out ringside where they already had a barber chair set up, ready to go. Her head gets shaved. That is that. Under a 5-minute match, it doesn't matter. You can have a great match in under 5 minutes, but it's nothing really to sink your teeth into. You know what I mean? There's just something so demoralizing. Like, I know we're watching pro wrestling and lots of weird, bad shit happens. Shaving somebody's head has always felt so icky to me. There was a match a long time ago, just to touch this, but when they shaved Raven's head, that will always break me up on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Especially hearing him talk about that, where they the clippers weren't working and they were going into his scalp and his hair didn't grow back like it used to. Oh, I hate it. Next, we're gonna get a match that is for the WWE Championship, and that is Eddie Guerrero. He is the current champion. As I said earlier in my video, he won it from Brock Lesnar, up against Kurt Angle. This storyline will always hold a special place in my heart. It makes me feel all sorts of emotions, and that's because they really feed off of real life situations, and that is Eddie Guerrero being a former addict, and Kurt Angle does not like the fact that Eddie Guerrero, as a former addict, should not be representing the WWE because kids watch, and do you want your kids to watch a former addict? So as I've stated many times, Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler. Not only was he great in the ring, he was great on the mic. He just had a charismatic aura, and he drew me in. He was funny, he was witty, just everything about this man. I loved his theme song. I loved when he'd come in the lowrider. As a kid and as an adult, I never grew out of loving Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is the only wrestling tattoo that I have. This storyline as an adult, and as an adult that is a recovering addict, it just made me so proud to look at this man and realize he overcame something that is so difficult. Now, we do know that Eddie Guerrero did pass away from complications of use. For time, he had been clean for years up to his death. People have said, Chavo Guerrero has stated, he was clean, but unfortunately, when it comes to addiction, it does have a lifelong and long-lasting effect on your body. I am an addict. Watching this storyline play out and having Kurt Angle call him just a junkie and you're just a junkie, that really hits home to me, because there are some people that will look at addicts and former addicts as people nothing more than just junkies, no matter what you do in your life. So I'm trying not to get emotional, but there are some people out there that will never look at you anything but that. This whole storyline, where there was a point in this storyline where Eddie Guerrero gets kayfabe arrested. Kurt Angle's like, see, this is what happens. But I mean, Kurt Angle's the one that got him arrested. This is such a beautiful storyline. Guerrero went in as champion. He left as champion. 21 minutes on the dot. This is something that you just have to, if you could find like a reel or something on YouTube of this entire rivalry and match. It's so beautifully done. There is so much emotion. You drag the real world into your storylines. They just mean so much more. For Eddie Guerrero, this was kind of therapeutic. Best match on the card for me, just because of everything that went into it, and Eddie Guerrero being so vulnerable to have this match and this storyline be told. I love Eddie Guerrero so much. But anyway, I put a lot of my own life into there as well. But this storyline was so important to me, watching it play out. Seeing Eddie Guerrero come out victorious, not only in the ring, but in real life. I mean, RIP. I'm so glad he got those few years left in his life as a sober, free man. Viva la raza! I'll never do that again. Bye. Next match we are gonna get into, you guys know, if you watch my past videos, I love me some badass American Undertaker. I love him. I think he's great in the ring. I love the motorcycle. I love that he comes out to Limp Bizkit. I know he's not everybody's favorite, and he's probably not mine either. I love Ministry of Darkness Undertaker. The Undertaker comes out with Paul Bearer. This is the Undertaker streak, so you already know what happens. Undertaker versus his real life brother, Kane. So as we know, over the years, there's been a lot of back and forth with Undertaker, Kane. They're brothers, they're fighting. Sibling rivalry. You know, if you have a sibling, you get it. Survivor Series 2003. The Undertaker had a match with Vincent McMahon. They had a buried alive match. Kane interfered with that match, attacking the Undertaker, throwing him in the grave, meaning Vince McMahon did win that match. Vince McMahon at the end of the match buried the Undertaker under dirt. So because Kane did throw him in the grave, Vince McMahon took his big dirt truck and buried the Undertaker alive. For Survivor Series 2003, Kane would take all responsibility for killing the Undertaker. The Undertaker is dead. Kane would also go on to say, you used to be by my side, you were a monster, and now you're just one of these people with your American flag. You're no longer a monster, you're just one of these people in the crowd. But while Kane was dropping these promos and going off about the Undertaker being dead, the Undertaker was dropping some hints that he was coming back. And I mean, no matter how much I love American Badass, seeing these little montages, Phenom Undertaker is so iconic. It's such a great character. I digress. So Survivor Series 2003 happened November 16th. So at WrestleMania 20 in March 2004, the Undertaker Phenom does come back with Paul Bearer and he beats Kane in under 10 minutes. This was a great match. Again, I do prefer the American Badass, but it was so nice to see him back. And what better time than up against Kane? You want to say that I'm not a monster? Well, here I am, bitch. Let's rewind for a little bit. Two things. This WrestleMania is 4.5 hours long, and I know that they're only going to get longer because we're going to go into 2 days, but my golly, 4 hours. This is a long one. Again, we are into the main event match, and earlier on the card, we had a backstage segment between Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Benoit was saying, you already have your WWE title. I'm going in for mine. Eddie Guerrero's like, no matter what happens, I will still love you like a brother, but nobody really expects you to win, Chris. You're going up against Shawn Michaels and Triple H. We're not expecting this. And Chris Benoit goes in on Eddie Guerrero. Don't say that to me. You already got yours. This is my time. You know, being scary. And Eddie Guerrero comes back at him saying, this is it. This is the Chris Benoit that I was looking for. This is the fire that I was looking for. Go out there and get him. This is a triple threat match. As stated, this is Chris Benoit, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. During this match, the crowd is heavily behind Chris Benoit. And you know, you gotta talk about him when you're going through the WrestleMania series. I don't like to mention him, but I have to say, this match was about 24 minutes long. Up to WrestleMania 20, this is one of my favorite main events, if not my favorite main event, because these men go in on one another. You can feel the intensity, the hatred, everything rolled up into one in this match. I lost the sense of this being scripted when I was watching this match because I was like, these men fucking hate each other. And maybe they did at this point. I don't know. But holy shit, was it one of my favorite matches. Say something a little controversial at this point. Chris Benoit was a great wrestler. He does not deserve any recognition. I hate that I have to talk about him, but this match, it was spectacular. Shawn Michaels and Triple H did such a fabulous job, and I don't want to take anything away from them and everything that they put into this match. So that's just how I'm going to look at it. This match blew my socks off. Shawn and Triple H have a long history with BX and being friends, but there was a moment in time in 2002, Shawn Michaels was actually told that he was going to be Triple H's manager, and HBK was like, nah, I'm not being told what to do. There's a whole sordid history with this. There was going to be a DX reunion, but Triple H turned on HBK, gave him the pedigree, and this really just added fuel to the fire. Quite obviously, their friendship into rivalry is something that I definitely want to do a deep dive on this channel. But the back and forth between Triple H and HBK went on for quite a while, up to Royal Rumble 2024, where they had a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship that ended in a draw. It was a 10-second count out, so both men were down, neither one could stand up. Triple H is technically still the world champion. Stone Cold Steve Austin says, well, technically, Shawn Michaels, HBK, you didn't lose this match. So here's what we're going to do at WrestleMania 20. Will the 2004 winner of the 30-man Royal Rumble match please come to the front? Well, it is Chris Benoit. Shawn Michaels is like, great for you, Benoit. Glad to hear that. Glad you're part of the match. That doesn't matter because I want Triple H. This has been 10 years coming. Let's get into it. Usually when it comes to the main event of a WrestleMania, I wouldn't love a triple threat. Nothing wrong with it. I'd rather just be a one-on-one battle. But when you're looking at a match like this, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit, you know you're going to get the cream of the crop. Not only did we get one of the best matches of all time of a WrestleMania, you let me know what you think about this match. Is it one of the best WrestleMania matches? Where would you put it? Is it top 10? Let me know. It's definitely in my top 10 so far. Again, like I said, there was so much emotion behind it. My soul left my body, was hovering up above me and watching the match at one point. Chris Benoit slammed through one of the announce tables, so he's, by the commentary, counted out of this match. They're like, well, he's definitely not going to win. He's laid out. Crimson mask on both of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Pops up like 5 minutes later. Well, that's Chris Benoit. He gets back in the match. There's a lot of false finishes, which when it comes to something like this match makes so much sense because these people are losing a lot of blood. Triple H does go in as champion. He leaves as a loser. Benoit is your new world heavyweight champion. And oh my God, does this crowd pop the F off. Who comes out to congratulate Chris Benoit? Well, that is Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is holding the WWE Championship, and that is for the Smackdown brand. Chris Benoit is now holding the World Heavyweight Championship for the Raw brand, and they hug, they embrace this emotion between these two men because you know how close they were in real life. I absolutely loved WrestleMania 20. I had so much fun watching it. There was so much going on. The women's matches were definitely lacking. I did not love the four-man tag matches. Overall, I'm going to give this WrestleMania a 7.8 out of 10. I did not love it more than WrestleMania 18. I'm still holding on to that. What did you guys think of WrestleMania 20 overall? Let me know. What was your favorite match? What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite storyline? Let me know. Next week, I will be back for WrestleMania 21. I am over halfway through now. Let's get into it. Goodbye. See you next time.